Did you know some animals have behaviors that can lead to their own end? It's a rare and puzzling aspect of nature. From deep oceans to dense forests, nature's tales are not always about survival. What drives them to this edge? Join us as we uncover these surprising stories. In the wild, it's all about staying alive, but sometimes, even in nature, things don't go by the book. Today, we're exploring a topic which is less talked about: animals doing things that might harm themselves. Why do they do it? What can it teach us about how animals think and act? Let's find out together in this video. Number 5. Babirusa. Meet the Babirusa, a real standout in the pig world. And it's not just because of its looks. These guys are from Indonesia and have a cool nickname, deer pig. Why? Well, it's all about their tusks. The males have these wild tusks that curve up and back almost like a helmet. But here's the twist. Sometimes these tusks can grow too much and hurt the Babirusa itself. Babirusas love hanging out in the dense forests, munching on a mix of fruits, nuts, and small critters. They're pretty much loners, except when it's time to find a partner. And when it comes to finding love, those tusks are not just for show. The males use them to spar, kind of like showing off to impress the females. But there's a downside to those impressive tusks. If they get too long, they can actually harm the Babirusa. It's a rare but serious problem for them. Now, these unique animals are facing some tough times. Their homes are disappearing because of deforestation, and they're also at risk from hunting. Saving the Babirusa means we need to understand them better and protect their natural habitats. It's all about keeping these incredible creatures safe for the future. Number 4. Philippine Tarsier. The Philippine Tarsier is a tiny, adorable primate that's super important for nature lovers and those looking to protect our planet. This little guy, famous for its big eyes and unique look, calls the Philippines home, especially places like Bohol and Mindanao. It's one of the tiniest primates out there, and it's become a symbol for saving nature in the Philippines because it's at risk and plays a special role in its environment. These little creatures are night owls, hiding out during the day and coming out at night. They mostly eat bugs, sometimes small sea creatures, and even tiny lizards or birds. They're super agile and great at jumping, which makes them ace hunters. What really stands out are their huge eyes, each as big as their brain. This helps them see in the dark, perfect for their nighttime adventures. Plus, they've got special leg bones that make them amazing jumpers, hopping from tree to tree with no sweat. Tarsiers like their space and usually stick to themselves, keeping their own little areas and only really hanging out with others to mate. They have their own ways of chatting, from marking their territory to finding a mate, showing they've got a pretty complex way of living. Even though they're small and seem fragile, Tarsiers are tough and perfectly suited for their home. But they're in big trouble because their homes are being destroyed by things like logging and farming. Losing their home makes it hard for them to find food, mates, and safe spots, which is pushing them towards extinction. What's really sad is that Tarsiers get super stressed, especially if they're kept in cages or if their homes are messed up. This stress can make them hurt themselves, which shows just how important it is to keep their homes safe and leave them be in the wild. Number 3. Snakes. Snakes are amazing creatures that can be found almost everywhere, from jungles and deserts to rivers and seas. They're super adaptable, which is why there are more than 3,000 different kinds of snakes out there, each with its own size, color, and way of life. Snakes are important in nature because they help control the number of other animals, like rodents and insects, and they're also food for other predators. Most snakes eat meat, chowing down on things like bugs, mice, birds, and even other reptiles. Big snakes, like pythons and anacondas, can catch and eat large animals like deer. Snakes have some clever tricks to stay safe from danger, like blending into their surroundings, making hissing sounds, or pretending to be more dangerous than they are. But there's one strange thing: some snakes might start eating their own tail. This weird behavior, called auto-cannibalism, which is pretty rare and can be harmful or even deadly. It might happen if a snake is really stressed, sick, or confused, or if it's in a place that's too hot, cold, or doesn't have enough food. This problem of snakes eating themselves can happen more often when they're kept as pets, if they're not living in the right kind of environment. It shows how important it is to take good care of snakes, making sure they have everything they need to act like they would in the wild. Even now, snakes are facing a lot of challenges, like losing their homes, changes in the climate, and people being afraid of them. Number 2, dogs. There's a really strange story about the Overtoun Bridge in Scotland where, for some reason, dogs have been jumping off and getting hurt or worse. This old bridge, built way back in the 1800s, looks nice but has a sad story because of these dog incidents. Dogs are usually part of the family, known for being loyal, smart, and having a great sense of smell. They eat a mix of meat and special dog food that gives them everything they need to stay healthy. But at Overtoun Bridge, something odd happens, especially with dogs that have long noses and really good sniffers. Some people think these dogs smell something super interesting below the bridge, like wild animals, and they jump over the side without realizing how high up they are. There might be animals like minks down there that catch the dog's attention. Experts and scientists have tried to figure out why this happens, looking at everything from the bridge's design to the smells in the area. They wonder if the bridge and its surroundings might be too much for the dogs, making them act in ways they normally wouldn't. But even with all this guessing, no one knows for sure why it's happening. This whole thing shows how complex animals' instincts can be and how important it is for pet owners to keep their dogs on a leash in places that might be dangerous. The mystery of Overtoun Bridge reminds us that sometimes animals do things we just can't explain. And it's a big reason why we need to keep studying and learning about our furry friends. Number 1. Rams. Wild rams, especially the big argali, are amazing animals with huge spiral horns that look really cool. These rams are the biggest of their kind and can weigh a lot. Their horns aren't just for show. They use them to protect themselves and to impress the females during mating season by battling other males. Argali live up high in the mountains of Central Asia, hopping around steep and rocky places. They eat grass and other plants that grow there, even though it's a tough place to find food. But there's a downside to those awesome horns. As the argali get older, their horns keep growing and sometimes start to curve the wrong way. This can be really bad because the horns can end up hurting the ram's face, which can lead to serious injuries or even death. It's a sad twist that something that's supposed to help them can also harm them. Nature is full of animals that have special traits to help them survive, but sometimes these same traits can cause problems or even danger for them. These examples really show how tricky and connected evolution changes to fit in and staying alive can be in the animal world. If you have learned something new from this video, please like this video, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more amazing and wild content like this.